Hi, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Jelena.
Welcome to our tutorial on how to lift from tripod headstand into Bakasana.
And this is for all of you Vinyasa fans that stick and watch our videos, even though all we talk about is Ashtanga. So we're doing something that we don't really do in Ashtanga so much.
Not this
Not this
not this
transition.
exact thing, but we do things that are very similar to it.
Yeah, but we hear it's popular in Vinyasa world.
And I guess, did we?
Yeah, I hear
Okay.
from the sources.
But before we go any further and tell you our secrets, think about committing to a subscription. All you have to do is press the button, and then every week you'll receive a free tutorial from us. It's that easy.
If I was watching this, I'd try to speed up through that part.
There's that little button at the top. You can do playback speed. That's how I watch our videos, at twice the speed. Same difference. And if you subscribe, thank you. If you don't, that's okay. But at least like it. And then really, come on. And comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to see. What do you think of Yelena's hair?
That's good enough.
Okay, all right. Okay, so tripod headstand, we would call that Adho Mukha Sirsasana A in Ashtanga. We do that the last end of intermediate. See, I'm talking about Ashtanga yoga, even though
We're doing a
Vinyasa
Vinyasa inspired tutorial.
And then we do something like this kind of lift in Advanced A, the third series. We lift into
Eka
Pada Bakasana.
Yeah.
B is kind of the one that looks like this. We can get Jelena to show us. But you're going to go from, the tripod headstand with your feet pointing up in the air, coming down, put your knees on your upper arms, shift your weight back, push into the hands, and try to lift into straight arms.
Yeah, and I guess obviously that means that you're fine doing the headstand.
Oh, but if you need help doing a headstand, we do have tutorial on that. We'll put a link here. I've been told not to point because I'm always pointing in the wrong direction when the link comes up. So just look around the screen.
And then from the headstand, we're going to come down into the tuck and try to lift. And, there's kind of two versions. We're working towards the straight hand lift.
Straight arm, yeah.
Straight arm. But we can also do one where the arms stay a little bit more bent at first while we're learning.
Okay, so let's start just with the movement of, getting the knees on the arms in Kakasana. That's the bent arm version of the arm balance. And then we'll come down onto the head from there. So we'll look at coming down first. Okay, so watch how Jelena sets up. She's going to set up with the hands a little wider than the shoulders, with the index knuckles somewhere in line with the middle to the outside of the deltoid. And you can see the hands are just slightly turned out. So that's going to keep the elbows in a nice line. And she brings her knees to rest on the back of the upper arms here. Do you see? And she lifts the feet up off the floor by engaging the hamstrings. Good. Okay, and then watch. She's just going to bend, chin to the chest, and come down onto the head. Just that. Then from there, if she tips her weight back this way, she can push through the hands at the same time and just come down onto the toes. Just come right down onto your toes, like that. Okay? So you're shifting weight forward onto the head and shifting weight back down onto the feet. No big deal. All right. So if you can do that a couple of times, then the next thing you're going to try to do is start to shift your weight back without letting the feet come down. So you'll go through that same sort of range of movement going forward to get the feet to lift up. And then very slowly start to bring the hips. See how Jelena's hips are lowering down towards her heels? And then she's going to start to push through the hands. She's holding the roundness in the back. And that's where, as she rounds and pushes through the hands, the head lifts off the floor. Good. All right. Okay. So once you can do that, you're going to try to do that a couple of times. Then you're going to bring your legs up into the headstand position. And from there, again, bend your knees and open the knees up as you come down. Keep your feet together as your knees open out to the side. So that way your shins are angled towards the center line of the body. And then you can see Jelena's feet are still off the floor here. And again, she's going to tip the hips back towards the heels. And then when she can't get any more movement there, she's going to push through the hands and lift the chin off the floor. Good. And then to go a little further into it, she can press into the arms and try to straighten, and then engage the hamstrings more to pull the heels up towards the bum. Good. And then if you're going to come back down, bend the elbows, come onto your head. That's it. All the way back up, and then all the way back down. Ta-da. Easy. Not so bad, right?
Not so bad. I think the key is really making sure that the insides of the feet stay together.
Stay together, yeah.
Because you are constantly pressing the feet, and that creates a lot of strength and connection through your inner thighs into your pelvic floor.
Yeah, and it also, I mentioned it while she was doing it, it maintains the angle of the shin. But we see a lot of people when they're trying to lift into Bakasana, the feet come apart and the legs are too wide. So you're not getting that kind of squeezing action that Jelena is talking about. And also there's no sort of solid point of contact for the shin and the upper arm, because when the shin is pointing, the foot is pointing straight back, the kneecap is just resting on the back of the arm.
And it's almost like you have your upper arm and your shin, you're putting them in a parallel line, which makes it more...
It's more work.
More work than letting it
be
crossed. Like it's more solid that way.
You can kind of rest your shin on the upper arm that way. Even when you're straightening your arm, because there's still a bit of an angle, your shoulders are forward of your wrists, so your shins can still rest a little bit on the upper arms. Yeah. Okay, so we mentioned that we do this movement in Ashtanga. In the third series, we have a posture called Eka Pada Bakasana, one-legged Bakasana, crane pose, B. So same thing, you start in the tripod and then you come down. And then you lift up, but you see one leg is extended. Yeah, it's actually one of the easier arm balances that we do in that sequence, I think. Do you think?
Yeah.
Jelena agrees.
It's one of the easier ones.
Yeah, the other ones are tough. This one you can kind of rest a little bit.
This one you can use like shifting of the weight to balance and lift yourself up and down and keep the arms bent for a longer time than some of the other stuff.
Yeah. Looks good, right?
It looks more fancy than it actually is, I find.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about just containing that tuck, which is the same thing we've been talking about. Contain the tuck before you extend the leg, bring the leg tuck.
Yeah. You do it a little different than I do. I lift.
Probably do it nicer.
Maybe. You look nicer. I don't know if you do it nicer. You come into Bakasana. I come into Bakasana and then I extend the leg. But I noticed you extend your leg and then lift into Bakasana. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your leg is coming out as you come up into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks fancy. It's great for parties after a couple of drinks, at the top of the stairs. You can show everybody.
Do not do that.
But
you can do it.
I can do it. Yeah. I'll do it next party we have. You're invited. Please come. But of course, we will be checking at the door to see if you subscribed. Okay. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope this was helpful. Yeah. And
let us know.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.